All right, let's go now to Houston and we'll talk with Nancy. Hey, Nancy, what have you got for us tonight?
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's more or less a concern or some advice how to continue. My son had an adulterous affair, um, probably more emotional in the beginning. He's been separated a year. He has two daughters. Their age will be 6 and 4. So the girl that he has this affair with, they pretty much moved in together.
Hmm.
She has two children. She's divorced. He is not divorced. And then he'll get my grandkids, his children, and take them into that home, and they'll sleep in the same bed and try to raise them as he's the father.
Hmm.
So my concern is my support. Am I giving him the proper support? I don't agree with what he's doing, and I know it's hurting his 6-year-old, almost 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Her
Uh,
daughter is
and
2 days older.
what does your support look like? I mean, currently, how are you supporting this?
I by going over and try to partake in some kind of activity with all the kids.
I see. And if I've got this right, some of them are your grandchildren and some of them are not?
Correct. And
Okay.
he wants it to be a cohesive family, which it may be, later when he's divorced. But at this time, he's not divorced, but is pursuing this family life with another woman.
Right, I see. Well, I think this is one of those cases where what you believe and what you are convicted about concerning his choices is crystal clear. I mean, you've made that clear, I would assume. He's in his right mind. He doesn't think that you're pro affair. He doesn't think that you're pro divorce and pro affair and pro hurting his ex wife or soon to be ex wife. So he knows your stand. And I get it that you don't want to go over there and just act like everything's fine and let's all have Christmas together and ho, 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 and it's all good. But at the same time, you've got some grandchildren, and this is not their fault. They had nothing to do with this arrangement. For you to just bail on them, not be able to see them, not go over and visit them, not spend any time with them for the next month, year, 5 years, I don't know. Who knows the timeline on whatever relationship this is and how it takes shape going forward? Who knows? But I think you need to look at this not through the lens of, oh, am I going to accidentally look like I'm condoning this? Just forget that lens. Nobody is looking over your shoulder. I mean, nobody is thinking, "Oh my goodness, Nancy went over there for dinner." So therefore, she thinks divorce is good and she thinks affairs are fine. I don't think anybody's thinking that, Nancy. I think you need to look at this instead of through a lens of what will people think, or is this okay, or is God going to be upset with me, or whatever. You need to be looking at it through a lens of, I love my grandkids and I want to see them, especially when things are this weird for them and awkward. They've been taken from one household, put in another, and the last thing they need is their grandmother out of sight for the next few months. So I think it's about love. I think your motive is good if it's about loving those grandkids and spending time with them. So it's not like you're having to give your blessing of the relationship every hour when you're over there. If you need to make it plain again. Hey, I don't think this is right. You guys are under one roof. You're not married yet. The divorce hasn't gone through. I'm here to see my grandkids. That's the only reason I'm here. But I wouldn't run away from the whole situation simply because you're afraid perhaps of what God will think or what people will think. What God wants you to do is love those grandkids and be their grandmother and share the love of Christ with them. So keep that as your focus. Talk plainly, speak the truth in love. Um, but enjoy those grandkids and don't separate yourself from them. I hope that helps. Reach out to us again anytime. Great to hear from you.